Caritamrita. We are on Adi-Lila. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we are on chapter 4, text 66. Satvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam Yad Iyate Tatra Puman Apavritaha Satvecha Tasmin Bhagavan Vasudevo Hi Adhokshajo Me Manasa Vidiyate. The condition of pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead is revealed without any covering, is called Vasudev. Vasudev. In that pure state, the Supreme Godhead, who is beyond the material senses and who is known as Vasudev, is perceived by my mind. This text from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 3, Text 23, spoken by Lord Shiva when he condemned Daksha, the father of Sati, as an opponent of Vishnu, confirms beyond a doubt that Lord Krishna, his name, his fame, his qualities, and everything in connection with his paraphernalia exist in the Sandhini Shakti of the Lord's internal potency. So in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the pastime of Lord Shiva and Daksha. And then, so Lord Shiva is saying at that time, the condition of pure goodness in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead is revealed without any covering is called Vasudev. In that pure state, the Supreme Godhead, who is beyond the material senses and who is known as Vasudev, is perceived by my mind. So here, Lord Shiva is clearly saying that who is he meditating on? He's saying, I'm meditating on Vasudev. He's himself saying it. He is perceived by my mind. So he's meditating on Vasudev. And then the Supreme Lord, he is revealed without any covering in a pure state. So means Lord Krishna, his name, fame, qualities, everything is spiritual, is not material. There is no material goodness. It's all Sandhini Shakti, the Sandhini Shakti of the Lord's internal potency. So the Sandhini was, we said, was the eternality, the eternal, pure, in the pure goodness, state in the pure goodness, the eternality, eternally existing. So reading on 67. Krishna Bhagavata Jnana Samvitera Sara Brahma Jnana Dika Sabha Tara Parivara. The essence of the Samvit potency is knowledge that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna. All other kinds of knowledge, such as the knowledge of Brahman, are its components. So the essence of all knowledge, all the knowledge is coming from this Samvit potency, the knowledge potency. And what is the essence of all knowledge? Is that who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Is Lord Krishna. He's Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all other knowledge, even up to the point of Brahman, this knowledge is a component of this essence, that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the activities of the Samvit Shakti produce the effect of cognition, by how to know anything. So it's by this potency, this Samvit Shakti. Sandhini potency is that everything is eternal because of this Shakti, the eternality of Krishna, his paraphernalia, his clothes, his bed, his devotees, his everything connected to Krishna is eternal. So here is the Samvit, cognition. Both the living entity, both the Lord and the living entities are cognizant. Shri Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has full knowledge of everything, everywhere, and therefore there are no hindrances to his cognition. He can have knowledge merely by glancing over an object, whereas innumerable impediments block the cognition of ordinary living beings. So we think that we know everything, everywhere, and that we have perfect knowledge. That's because we are trying to imitate Krishna. We are saying, why is he has all the knowledge? That's the reason we are here in the material world. But actually, who has all the knowledge of everything, everywhere? It is Krishna. He has all the knowledge, everything and everywhere. And so he has complete, perfect cognition, perfect understanding. He can understand something just by looking over it. Whereas we, to understand something, it may take us lifetimes to understand something. And yet we claim that my understanding is the perfect understanding. I know everything that's happening everywhere in the world. And we can see that practically. The whole internet now is filled with people who claim to know so many things. Everybody is just talking their minds out, claiming that, thinking that it's the absolute truth. But only Krishna has that, not us. The cognition of the living beings has three divisions: direct knowledge, indirect knowledge, and perverted knowledge. Okay, so we have three divisions: direct knowledge, indirect knowledge, and perverted knowledge. Sense perception of material objects by the mundane senses, such as the eye, ear, nose, and hand, always produces definitely perverted knowledge. This illusion is a presentation of the material energy, which is influenced by the Samvit Shakti in a perverted manner. Okay, so sense perception of material objects by the mundane senses. So the eyes, ears, nose, hand, the eyes we are seeing something. By the eyes, eye is a sense, and the sense perception is the sight, right? And what's the material object is the form, that we are seeing something, some form, or we are reading something. So that's for the eye. Then ear is the sense. Then the sense object is sound. We are hearing something. By the hand, we are touching something. So this kind of knowledge is perverted knowledge. Why? Because our senses are not perfect. Our senses are not perfect. Although we think that we are perfect. I saw it with my own eyes. How can it be wrong? I heard it with my own ears. How can it be wrong? But many times we ourselves have the experience, in spite of us seeing or hearing something and thinking it's right. After some time we realize, oh my, I was wrong. So this is the illusion of the material energy, because our senses are imperfect. Negative cognition of an object beyond the reach of sense perception is the way of indirect knowledge, which is not altogether imperfect, but which produces only fragmentary knowledge in the form of impersonal spiritual realization and monism. So negative cognition of an object beyond the reach of sense perception. Negative cognition of an object beyond the reach. So I can just try my best to what I'm understanding, and if y'all think there is some other thing, please let me know. So what is indirect knowledge is trying to understand something which we cannot see with our eyes or hear about directly with our own ears, but we can try to know something about that object. And that knowledge might it's not a perfect knowledge, but it's just kind of giving us a glimpse, just a glimpse of that knowledge, but it's not perfect. And so this kind of knowledge gives us the realization of monism, of the Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti, because we are trying to hear or trying to understand something which is beyond our reach, but we are getting some knowledge about this, but it's not the complete knowledge. It's like a bit of the knowledge, a fragment of that knowledge. But when the Samvit factor of cognition is enlightened by the Hladini potency of the same internal energy, they work together, and only thus can one attain knowledge of the personality of Godhead. So what is saying that it's only when the Gyan Shakti, the Samvit is the knowledge Shakti, right? Knowledge, it's only when we are trying to understand this knowledge of the Supreme Absolute Truth, then what we'll get is just a little glimpse of this Absolute Truth. We will not get the whole picture. But when this knowledge potency is enlightened by the bliss potency, because Hladani potency is Krishna's pleasure-giving potency, by which he feels happiness, by which he feels transcendental pleasure. When they work together, then one can have the complete knowledge of the personality of Godhead. So Samvit Shakti should be maintained in that state. Material knowledge and indirect spiritual knowledge are byproducts of the Samvit Shakti. So material knowledge, we know, is totally defective, fully defective. And indirect spiritual knowledge is also coming from Samvit Shakti, but it is giving us only a partial realization. It's not giving us the complete knowledge. Although it is knowledge, but it's just a glimpse of the total knowledge. But when this Samvit Shakti and Hladani Shakti, when they're combined, we are getting the full picture, the full knowledge, the full bliss. And in that way, one can understand this personality of Godhead. Is that okay? So it's going into like very technical part, very, very technically trying to explain the potency, like what is the effect of which of the Gyan Shakti of Krishna? How is it affecting us? And by this effect, how much is the knowledge that we are getting? How much Gyan are we getting based on how it is influencing us?
So this is like as you said, that the three kinds. So the knowledge here is three kinds in this, right?
The knowledge, yes. So the three kinds of Shakti, that is Sandhini, Samvit, and Hladani.
Yeah.
Sandhini is by which he is always eternal. Krishna is always eternal. That is the Sat Shakti. Then this is the knowledge, the Chit Shakti, Samvit. So this Samvit knowledge is also three kinds, as you rightly said. One is just material knowledge, by which we are trying to understand with our senses, eyes, ears, nose, and that's totally defective, totally under illusion. Then when we are trying to understand this Samvit Shakti of the absolute truth, by this Samvit Shakti, we are trying to understand the absolute truth. We cannot understand the absolute truth in totality, but we can just reach up to the Brahman level, just up to the Brahman. So that is just a tiny glimpse of the actual knowledge that there is. You know, that's what is said, that we can just get fragmentary knowledge. That means someone who understands the impersonal Brahman, or one who's come on the platform of the Brahman, the soul, monism, Brahmajyoti, that means their knowledge is only fragmental of the total knowledge that actually there is. They have just a glimpse of the knowledge, a fragment. But the total knowledge, the absolute knowledge, can be realized when this knowledge is combined with the bliss Shakti. The Samvit and Hladani, when they're together, one can get the complete knowledge of what? Of the personality of Godhead.
And what is the third one?
That's the one.
Oh, that's the third one is
the
perverted knowledge.
No, the first we said was the first is the material knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the perverted knowledge.
Okay, the perverted one is the last one here.
Material knowledge, yeah. The material knowledge. That's the perverted knowledge. Because it's making us think, giving us knowledge of the body, right? Nothing to do with the soul. So it's the perverted knowledge, which we are getting with our eyes, ears, nose, with our senses, whatever. So we are getting only knowledge of this material world. This material world is a perverted reflection. So we are getting That knowledge is in a perverted manner. We are receiving knowledge in a perverted manner. Now we are getting a glimpse of the true knowledge, just a glimpse of the true knowledge when we are understanding the Brahman. When we are understanding that the absolute truth is Brahman, there's monism, there is that we are all Brahman, we are all souls, Aham Brahmasmi, all that is just a fragmental part of the knowledge. But what is the total knowledge? What's the total knowledge is when this knowledge is combining with the bliss potency, the Hladini potency. When they both are combined, then we are getting the complete knowledge. One can attain, at that time, we can attain the knowledge of the personality of Godhead. That's when. So the knowledge Shakti and the bliss Shakti, when they combine, we get the eternality Shakti is there. We just read about it, the Sandhini Shakti. So this is how the progression is happening. Sat Chid Ananda, Sat Chid Ananda. When we understand that Krishna has these three potencies, we can try to understand him in fact, the absolute truth in fact. That's what's the point being said here.
So that is the bhakti in bhakti?
Yes, only bhakti. Only by bhakti can we understand.
Okay, yeah, now it's much clearer. Not, like it's near, at least understandable.
Yeah, yes. So this is just given to us to understand that if we want to understand the complete absolute truth, the full knowledge of the absolute truth, then we need to understand his full features, Sat, Chid, Ananda. We can't just leave up to Sat potency or come only up to the Chit potency or only, we have to include the Ananda also to have the complete picture. So
this is the direct knowledge.
Yes.
The absolute knowledge that when the both are combined, that is the first one, the direct knowledge, right?
Direct knowledge.
And the indirect is the in-between one.
Yes.
Where we just get a glimpse of
that Brahman.
No.
Yes,
yeah, when we reach to the Brahman,
when
we try on our, when we try in the Samvit, we just reach up to the Brahman.
Yes.
The partial.
Partial, yes.
Okay, that is indirect. And the perverted one is the material one, as you mentioned, that we get from the senses.
That's
and the knowledge that we acquire. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can we say that the knowledge is revealed by the Lord within the bhakta or the devotee, because all knowledge is imparted by him? Many a time some gurus, they say that their lectures are not their lectures because something comes inside them, or Krishna puts some knowledge in them to speak out. Can that be also valid?
Yes, it's completely valid.
So with proper chanting and love for Krishna, one can attain even the knowledge, isn't it? So many people think that reading and reciting and doing tapasyas are the only way to get knowledge, but bhakti or serving or thinking about Krishna, knowledge is imparted directly by Krishna in the person's heart.
Yes, that is the way to receive true knowledge. Bhakti is the way to receive true knowledge.
Okay.
Yes.
So focus more on doing bhakti, like chanting, hearing, remembering, loving service to Krishna, then knowledge will be revealed.
Yes. Yes.
So that is the perfect knowledge, right? That's the ultimate knowledge.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jnanati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayad Ahetukam. This is Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 7. It's one of the important verses to remember. I'm just reading it from here. Bhagavatam, Chapter 1, Canto 2, Text 7, it says, by rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world.
Okay, all right.
Yes, so, thank you. Thank you.
Because Bhaiya brought this, I heard in one of the lectures, one of the devotees said that, Prabhupada, why are you listening your own lectures? Prabhupada used to listen his own lectures. And like as Bhaiya said that, Prabhupada said that it was not me who was speaking it. So that's why he used to listen his own lectures also. Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, well, I've heard not about him listening his lectures, but I've heard about him reading his books, because he would say that Krishna is the one who is dictating, and I'm just I'm just writing it, but Krishna is dictating. Yes, it's true. So all the knowledge is all to a devotee. Krishna reveals the perfect knowledge. Krishna empowers the devotee and gives all knowledge. There's also another incidence of Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan. Baladev Vidyabhushan, one of the acharyas in our line, and he was asked to write a commentary on Bhagavatam in 2 days, because the Vaishnavas at that time still didn't have the commentary. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas had, the Bhagavatam is the commentary anyways, but the Gaudiya Vaishnavas were, so anyway, there was this, he was asked to write this commentary in 2 days, and he was like, how am I going to do it? But Govindaji recited him, and that's why the commentary is called Govinda Bhasya. In Jaipur, the Govinda Dev, he recited the whole, he dictated the whole knowledge to Baladev Vidyabhushan, and Baladev Vidyabhushan just wrote it down, and he presented this commentary. You know, so yes, it's only Krishna who gives knowledge. What can, you know, we actually don't have anything.
But I think even to a certain degree, whenever material difficulties what we face, sometimes we are blocked, but when we start praying, we find a way. So, I mean, this is a clear indicator that Krishna as Super Soul exists in everybody and is guiding the Super Soul, or giving the knowledge to do what he has to do, or what, you know, even an animal, sometimes you wonder how an animal, you know, finds his way out in things when they are in difficulties, you know. So, I mean, not only to survive, but in every aspect, I think Super Soul is guiding us. We just have to look deeper inside and reach to that. And to every person who's looking to whatever he's looking at, I think Super Soul is guiding. And that itself is knowledge, right? To find a way out, to think, to realize, or to know.
Yes.
To what degree we want to go. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, even in material difficulties, many people suffer, but when they start calming down and doing meditation or connecting to the source of everything, to the Super Soul, they get guided. So that itself is a clear indication that he's always guiding us. He's the true knowledge, actually.
Yes. Yes. Nice. Thank you. Yes, he says in the Bhagavad Gita that or that I'm the Super Soul. I'm seated in everyone's heart as the Super Soul, and all knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness comes from me. In 15th chapter, he says that. Yes. Yes, all our knowledge is Krishna is giving us.
So the main thing is to get connected to him.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the way to connect to him is bhakti.
That's the simplest form in this Kali Yuga.
In Kali Yuga, yeah, about chanting his holy name.
Haribo, thank you.
Haribo, thank you. Thank you.
And whenever you mention this, the Bhagavad Gita, that everything, the remembrance, forgetfulness, and everything comes from him, the very beautiful incident that when Duryodhan and Arjuna came, it is the best thing, like that, how that happened, and then how Duryodhan asked for whole of the army, and Arjuna just got what he wanted, and when Duryodhan left, he was in tears that, Krishna, what we would have done if he would have asked you. But then Krishna said that you don't have to worry, Arjun, that all the knowledge that comes from me, if I hadn't put that in his heart, he cannot ask for me. So that is such a beautiful incident. Like we see that all happening, and still we don't want to believe it. That how can Krishna handle my life, or how can he make me remember or forget? But yes, when we try to look at situations in life, when it is not us, we are just a small anu, but we have seen the great devotees doing what he wanted them to do, like the Parikshit Maharaj. How can such a great devotee hurt a Brahmana? But no, that was what Krishna wanted. That's what he put in his heart through him to make him more glorious. And we get disturbed in life by the situations we are put in, but we need to have faith that this is for my betterment. Krishna want me to learn some, because Krishna can never, 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 ever hurt anybody or do anything wrong for anybody. Like, devotees, definitely he'll not do anything wrong, but even for the asuras or demons, he doesn't do anything wrong. The people who doesn't love him, doesn't follow him, he doesn't hurt them either. Forget about the devotees, that they are their beloved. He will never. But even the normal person like us, he always thinks of favoring us. He always thinks of adding more to our life. So, I mean, this is such a this is, I think, the most important part, that we have to live with it. We should live with this, that yes, everything comes from him, and we forget it. When it is most needed, at the times in life, we just forget.
Thank you so much for adding this. Yes, there's something I was meditating on since last night. To accept Krishna's will at that moment when something's happening, not in retrospect, not after it's past, that at the moment when it's happening, we are like, oh my God, what's happening? Why is it happening? Not to me. Why should it happen? And then after 10 years or even after half an hour, oh yes, what happened was good. But to accept it at the moment when it's happening, So I was just saying, yeah, we just need to act. That was the thing I was like contemplating on, to accept Krishna's will at that moment, but it's so difficult so many times. And that's what Krishna is trying to see. How much faith do you have in me? Do you trust me or no? As you rightly said, Krishna is not going to do anything bad, but it's just we think we know better than him. He loves us all so much, but we think, no, I care about myself more than Krishna cares about me. And so Parikshit Maharaj, he was inspired to do that. Or even Bhishma Dev, such a pure devotee, a Mahajan. He's a Mahajan, but he played in the hands of Krishna as a puppet, always supporting Dhritarashtra, supporting the throne, didn't say anything when Draupadi said something. Draupadi was trying to be disrobed. He never said anything, but that's because Bhishma Dev is like he is a pure devotee of Krishna. So he's Krishna, I'm your puppet. Make me dance as you want me to dance. That's Prabhupada's mood also in his prayer of the Jaladuta. To accept Krishna's will. So, thank you so much.
So beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Prabhupada said prayer on the Jaladuta is very beautiful. Krishna, make me dance. I'm your puppet. Make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. Because he's like, what power will my words have? It's only if you want to change the hearts of the people that can happen. My language, I don't even speak the language. How will they understand what I'm trying to say? But I'm your puppet. You make me dance, make me dance. And so that's what we have to, at least that's what has been my contemplation these past, that we need to try to get this humility to be able to accept Krishna's will. Try to, that whatever is happening to me, yes, it's Krishna's will. Let me just accept it, that this is what Krishna wants the best for me. Yeah. So, thank you so much. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.